What's going on, guys, gals, and gamers? My name is OOTIKTAKOO, and welcome back to another video. This one's going to be informal. It's going to be pretty informal, and I just want to talk to you a little bit. If you don't want to stick around and hear what I have to say, skip to this timestamp here. But I just want to go over a few things before we jump into this build guide that I've been having a lot of fun with when I do play Outriders. Originally, when this game came out, I told a lot of people to transfer to it, that I thought it was going to be the next big thing. It was for a week. The developers were being open and honest with us. They were telling us what their plans for the game were, and a bunch of other things, especially coming from the game that I came from, weren't happening over there. So I told a lot of people, hey, come play this. It seems like it's going to be a good game. And with that being said, the game took off and it did really, really well the first month that it was out. My channel was up. I've gained over like 15,000 subscribers. My Twitch channel was doing great. And then all hell broke loose. Between the broken patches that we have gotten as of late that claim to fix things and don't fix things, the inventory wipe glitch that took over a month to fix, and now modders ruining games, it's just a lot to take care of, and a lot to talk about, and a lot to think about. And where are the devs, and why aren't they talking now? And there's a few theories out there, and I just want to touch on some of them. One being that they have your money and that's it. Hopefully that's not the case. The other one, in my personal theory here, is Square Enix has come out and said to Kotaku, or whatever that gaming magazine is, or Forbes, it was one of them, that Outriders is going to be their next big thing. That being said, I'm hoping that Square Enix is pressuring People Can Fly to turn the game into a games as a service, and they're trying to figure out the best way to do that, and maybe that's why they've been so quiet. I'm an optimist. I hope that is the reason, but we will see down the line. The game itself at its core is fantastic, and when everything's working and running correctly, the game is a lot of fun. Granted, there needs to be more stuff to do, but that's a different video. The last thing I want to touch on here is, again, before the game came out and during the demo, I said that I was going to make every character, every class, max them all. And although I can do that and might eventually do that, I've run into a problem. Recently, as you guys know, I made a Pyromancer, and there's one item in the game that is very, very difficult for the Pyromancer to get, just like it's for every class in the game. In this case, it's the Torturer's Helmet, which comes with Death Sentence, which finishes off the best debuff Pyro build there is. It took me 210 hours to farm that, not to mention the 600 hours I already previously had on my Devastator. And if I want to cover builds on YouTube or on my Twitch stream and I need to grind this gear, we're looking at average 200 hours per character for one build. That's fucking absurd. Whoever thought that was a good idea is insane. I'm a content creator. I'm a streamer. I do this for a living to put food on my table. I am not the majority. You have anybody who comes home from a 40-hour work week and wants to sit on his computer for an hour or two to grind a game and to never improve his build because he needs to put 200 hours for one piece of armor is fucking absurd. It is absurd, and it needs to be brought to the attention of the devs. It has. I promise you, I've talked to them about it. It's just, I personally don't even have time to do that. I have a family. I have obligations. I do this as my job, but that's like putting in a 200-hour work week for one thing. Like, it's just, it's crazy. But anyways, I just wanted to ramble a little bit about that. This build that we're bringing you is a culmination of something that I've been wanting to try. When I made a Pyromancer, I didn't want to shoot anything because every character shoots things. I wanted to use my abilities, hence the previous part of this video where you need certain mods to be able to do that. And for Pyromancer, the Akari set is just hands down the best one. I have all four. I have all the four correct pieces for all four. And even though in this build we're using Eruption, we're not using the Lava Lich set because the bonus passive on it is garbage. I believe off the top of my head it's 30% extra damage and 10% cooldown, but here's the kicker, none of the pieces of gear from the Lava Lich set have cooldown reduction on them. So you get 10% off your Eruption, but lose 21% from your 3 pieces. So in this build, we're using Akari, we're using Eruption, we're using Thermal Bomb, and it kind of slaps. If you want to play an AP build that's somewhat survivable and tanky and just a lot of fun, this is the one where you're going to do. And like I said, this is an informal video, so we're just going to jump into the build. I'm going to show you some gameplay and we're going to talk about it. And that's that. My original videos were a lot more in-depth because nobody knew what the hell anything was, and me having a jump start on the game, I had more knowledge that I wanted to share. Now everybody knows what Moaning Winds is. Everybody knows what weapon swapping is. Everybody knows that stuff. So we're going to do this video a lot more informal and just show you some gameplay, talk about the build, what mods you need, and how good it is. And with that, let's get into the video. This is the ultimate Eruption build. So there are a lot of abilities you can use for Eruption. That's the mainstay of our build. But after playing around with most of them, in fact, all of them, I've come to a certain couple, 3 or 4 of them that are the best out of the bunch. And sadly, it's not many of them. But the build works really well together because you debuff your own damage, I guess you could say. So let's start off here. Of course, we have a death shield, which I know everybody can't have, but oh, a little hint with the death shield: level up a character that has, if you have some extra time, level up a character that has a shotgun bonus drop rate. Devastator has one, I think Trickster has one, and play that character with that node. Even if you're not running a gun build like on a Devastator, it's 4 points to get the node in that case. And if you're playing with friends, those 4 nodes aren't going to be life or death, and you'll have a better chance of getting one. Secondly, we have Moaning Winds on this. This is with Shadow Comet, of course, and this is with Moaning Winds here. We are an ability-based character, and Moaning Winds still is the best AP weapon that you can do for weapon swapping. Then we have the Torment and Agony with Moaning Winds and Clip Combustion. Same thing, when all your abilities are down, you cycle through your weapons and one-shot everything because things will be debuffed. So over here, we have the helmet of the Akari. Let's talk about the white passive perks really quick. Anomaly Power, Skills Life Leech, Status Power. This is decent, but really that Status Power should be Cooldown Reduction. The main 3 you're looking for are Anomaly Power, Skills Life Leech, and Cooldown Reduction. The helmet for Akari does not come with it. But this comes with Fire Tsunami, which makes our Heat Wave be bigger, and Etna, which gives us another cast of Eruption. Then for the chest piece with Anomaly Power, Skills Life Leech, and Cooldown Reduction, perfect rolls, we have increased duration for Eruption. Now the reason we have duration and not size is Eruptions actually are single target damage in this build. Besides triple swapping from Moaning Winds and double swapping Moaning Winds and having a Shadow Comet, Eruption is what we're going to be using on bosses. And trust me, it does a lot of damage. So we want it to last longer. We don't need it bigger. Then we have Tidal Wave, which we can use our Heat Wave one more time. The Akari set, by the way, is for every enemy damaged by Heat Wave grants 50% anomaly power for 10 seconds. It is unbeatable in the Pyro tree compared to something mediocre like this. Increases damage of Eruption by 40% and decreases its cooldown by 10%. So it's really not worth it. And I think that Eruption increase is only the base number, I think. Maybe. Not 100% sure. Then we don't actually go for the pants of the Akari because it makes us use the Anomaly Echo, I believe it's called. Yes, and we don't want that. So we use these, which are God rolled Anomaly, Cooldown, Skills, Life Leech, with Burnout, which gives them 25% more damage. And then we get our third cast of our ability here with Pompeii. Lastly, second to last, we have our gloves here with Anomaly Power, Cooldown Reduction, Skills, Life Leech, again, perfect rolled, with Fire Frenzy and Branded. This is what I meant by we are going to be our own debuff machine. So we have Burnout here for 25%. We have 2 casts of Heat Wave, so that's 50% total. And then we have 2 casts of Thermal Bomb, which is another 80%. Once we debuff the target and drop our eruptions on them, 1 to 2 is enough to usually kill any captain on solo, or 2 to 3 on any higher scaling difficulty with more people. Then to finish off the set bonus, we take the Boots of the Akari, which allows us to take Hellfire, which makes our Heat Wave do more damage in groups and bring debris. Now, if you want to use the pants here, you can. You're going to get stuck with Anomaly Echo, but that means you can bring God Rolled pants or boots instead, which means you don't have to bring Hellfire. And in that case, I would recommend bringing extra damage to burn. The reason for this, the reason we're bringing debris is debris lasts the entire duration of the ability. It's not anything really else. Plus, it helps us with some AoE. So that's the reason we're using debris. It seems to be the highest DPS mod you can get. That's actually a eruption mod. So that is why we're using debris. You can change this if you want. You can try with burn damage, ash damage, but nothing really gets ashed. Captain Hunter works here too. There's a few other mods that you can place in this spot. Just my best success so far has been with debris. So that's the build. That's what we're running. Let's take a look at the skills we got. We have Heat Wave on an 8-second cooldown, Thermal Bomb on a 6-second cooldown, which is ridiculous, and then our Eruption is on a 19-second cooldown. There are a few different kinds of class builds you can do with this. This is my solo version of this. This node right here is very important for survivability. Making everything ashed while your things are on cooldown really helps with survivability. If you're playing in a group, you want to get as much damage as you possibly can, and this is the normal build I go for. We come up here for more cooldown reduction on our Heat Wave, grab Wildfire, come over here. Again, status power is not really that big of a deal for us. And then we grab these last two nodes here. This is what I'm going to run in the gameplay you're about to see. This is the build I prefer running a group with, and I grab this ash node and come up this tree and forget this tree when I'm running solo. So that's the difference here. And then usually if I'm running solo, I take out Mark's Culmination and I put it in Phoenix Nestling just for some more survivability. Pyromancers have the absolute hardest time in the game surviving, hands down. And funny enough, I said it before the game came out, that Pyromancers, due to their mechanic of how they heal, that something has to be debuffed if you're off cooldowns or something like that, they have the hardest time. On top of that, I feel like they're just bugged and take more damage than any other class. I play Trickster, or I've been playing Trickster, I play my Devastator, I don't get killed as fast as I get killed on my Pyromancer. It's quite ridiculous. So solo play, for the moment, is out of the question. I have brought up to the devs that Riflemen seem to be inadvertently buffed somehow, and they said they'll look into it because they 100% are. So here we're going to debuff the guy and then just drop one of our eruptions, maybe two of them, and he dies. The other thing that you can use eruption for is once you know the spawns and stuff, you can kill enemies that like drop down here. And then another thing to note about this build is that your Jesus Christ, I'm getting one shot constantly. That your thermal bomb acts as a secondary AoE. Not only does it debuff targets ridiculously well, it actually ends up doing a decent chunk of damage for the most part, and can usually one-shot the little guys or anything surrounding them. So usually I try to spread out the thermal bomb between targets I want to kill and boss targets for the debuff, because like for example in this room right here, when you go to the left and kill the captain, I do my best to get one thermal bomb on the captain and one thermal bomb on the guy next to him, because I want to kill that guy next to him so he blows up and takes the thermal bomb damage. That's just more of the play style. So see, I turn right a little bit there, and then we just drop our eruption down on the dude, and I'm pretty sure he's dead. Can't really see shit. Next captain, same thing. We got a thermal bomb down there, should take care of the rest of those guys. We've got another eruption, and he's dead. Kill that guy. Get one shot, cool. Like how did I even die? Whatever, it's whatever in my opinion. So we're gonna dump our entire kit and then try our best to get thermal bombs on, or eruptions on every captain. But I didn't have my full cooldowns. That was on me. I messed that up. But the room still is dead, which is nice. So like I said previously, we're like debuffing our own damage. Our eruption does hit hard, especially when they're fully debuffed, but you need them to be debuffed for it to actually work. It's a good single target damage ability. The cooldown is ridiculously long though. I don't understand again how they play tested the game and came up with these numbers for some of these abilities. When you have a Technomancer hitting for, I don't know, what, 6 million? No, 650,000 damage, give or take, like an average Technomancer. 650,000 damage for a gun that never runs out of ammo, and yet I have to wait 22 seconds for my volcano to hit basically the same numbers if I'm lucky. I just don't understand how it got to this point. I think my personal opinion is that because of the demo and how much people farmed it with AP builds and stuff like that, or whatever the hell they farmed it with, they overhandedly nerfed a bunch of AP stuff. We know for a fact that they did due to some of the legendary sets mods being changed, such as the Seismic Commander used to be 150% extra bonus damage to bleeding. And at one point, I thought that was actually broken. Like, that couldn't be broken. I understand why they changed that. And then once I finally got a Devastator, like, fully leveled up and everything like that, I realized how that still wouldn't even remotely be broken. And for this, we're just gonna, as soon as our abilities come up offline, double thermal bomb and just use all our eruptions. And he's dead. This may not be the best showing of this, to be completely honest. I feel like I've done better before. But like I said, I just wanted to put something out, guys. I know the player base is in a rough spot right now. I know the game could be better. I know we could have more communication between the devs. I know all of these things. I think Outriders, at its core, if it was done right, would have been one of the hit surprise games. I mean, it was a hit, past tense, when it first came out. And I think if it was handled better and didn't have the atrocious launch that it did have, then I think the game could do really, really well for itself. We will see. Maybe in the future we'll get some sort of DLC or something like that. Maybe they'll turn it into a games as a service. I personally think it should have been a games as a service. I'm not sure why you would make a looter shooter as a standalone game. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me, because you want them to keep playing. Once you have all the gear, what is the point of keep playing? Why make it a looter shooter if that was the case? They should have just made it an RPG. Either way, this is the Eruption build. Trust me, it's a lot of fun to use. I don't think this video really showed off how well it actually does. But when you're trying to carry people, I've ran with random people off of the Outriders Discord, and I've gotten multiple messages saying, hey, what is that build you're running? Because I would be out damaging Technomancers and the overheat pyros and all of that kind of stuff. So it does work. It is good for boss killing. It's a fun build to use. It's something different. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what we're going to be doing with the channel. We're probably going to start doing some variety content. Just FYI. And that's it. Have a great rest of your day, guys. TikTak out.